In the headlines, Tinubu sends new ambassador list to Senate, Ibas and Ambassador among nominees. Wike's group expels Damagum, Bala Mohammed and others from PDP. Nigerians divided over cowhide meat and health risks and economic concerns. And away from Nigeria, Libya increases deportation of migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. Hello and welcome to the News Update on Trust TV. I am Idris Dayabaturi. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has forwarded a fresh list of non-career ambassadorial nominees to the Senate for confirmation. Among the nominees are the immediate past sole administrator of Rivers State and former Chief of Naval Staff Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas, former presidential aide Ita Enang, former Imo State First Lady Chioma Ohakim, and former Minister of Interior and ex-Chief of Army Staff Abdurrahman Dambazo. The nominations were announced on Thursday during plenary after Senate President Godswill Akpabio read the President's letter addressed to the upper chamber. In the letter, President Tinubu urged the Senate to give speedy consideration to the nominees to fill key diplomatic missions. Akpabio has referred the list to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, directing the panel to screen the nominees and report back within 1 week. Now, the families of a 3-year-old girl named withheld in Bassa local government area of Plateau State is expressing deep concern that their daughter may have contracted an infectious disease following her alleged defilement. Although initial medical tests came back negative, the family fears that some infections, including HIV, may not be immediately detectable after exposure. Ado Musa has more.
On October 3rd this year, the Plateau State Police Command arrested one Job Josiah, a resident of Mr. Ali, for allegedly luring the child into his provision shop near her parents' home and violating her. The incident sparked outrage in the community, prompting security intervention to prevent unrest. The victim's mother told Trust TV that about a month after hospital treatment, she noticed abnormal discharge from her daughter, raising further medical concerns.
When we returned home days after the incident, I noticed fluid coming out of her private part. I tried placing her in a warm water daily, hoping it will help the scar to heal. At some point, I stopped because I thought she was getting better, but later I checked again. The area was still not normal. I informed my neighbor, who was also alarmed. I was advised to get antibiotics, but we don't even have money for food, let alone drugs, because my husband has been sick.
She added that the family remains anxious until follow-up screening confirms her daughter's health status.
We are worried because although the first test shows no infection, the next test will be in a few months. Diseases like HIV may not show immediately, so we are scared. We are just hoping the final result will show she is fine.
Contacted for an update, the spokesperson of the Plateau State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, confirmed that the suspect has been remanded while investigations continue.
Concerning the case of defilement of a 3-year-old minor, the command has gotten that report, and we have also gone into investigation as directed by the Commissioner of Police, CP Emmanuel Ugwemga Adesina PLC. And our officers at the gender section have been doing the needful. So far, investigation have been conducted, like I said. The case file have been handed over to the legal section for onward prosecution in the High Court here in Jos. The suspects have since been remanded in prison custody, and we are waiting our dates in court so that everybody will have their fair hearing.
Meanwhile, the family is calling for justice and support as they continue to seek treatment for their daughter. They are hopeful that in the coming months, doctors will confirm that she remains free of any infection. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, troops of Headquarters 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3, Operation Wild Stroke have intensified their ongoing offensive in Taraba State, achieving major breakthroughs that include the destruction of bandit camps, neutralization of armed elements, recovery of weapons, and the arrest of a key suspect. On 2nd December 2025, soldiers launched a deliberate clearance operation under Operation Zafunguta across Shid, Agia, and Tiozua communities in Takun local government area following credible intelligence on the presence of armed groups in the Tosta axis. As troops advanced into the mountainous hideout, the criminals fled deeper into the terrain, abandoning their camps. The soldiers conducted a thorough search and destroyed the camps, which the bandits had previously boasted were inaccessible to security forces. In Tiozua, the fleeing bandits set a wooden bridge on fire in a failed attempt to slow the troops' movement. Despite the obstruction, the troops pressed on and forced the criminals across the power line route into neighboring Benue State. One suspect, Lahiru Megari, was arrested and is currently undergoing investigation. Now, police in Sokoto State have arrested 3 suspected financiers and informants for bandit gangs, including Ruaginyo, the head of Gidan Madi in Tangaza local government area. The suspect, reportedly acting as brokers for the Laukurawa bandits, were apprehended on 3 December 2025 at around 2 p.m. while attempting to sell 4 rustle cows to unsuspecting buyers. Investigations revealed that the suspect facilitated the sale of stolen cattle and remitted the proceeds to the bandit. All have confessed to their involvement, and authorities are continuing efforts to trace further links and recover additional stolen property. Now, 5 students of Rivers State University Mpolu Oruaruokuo, Port Harcourt, who were abducted from the institution's satellite campus in Emwaha local government area on Tuesday have regained their freedom. The incident had triggered panic among students, leading to a protest during which they demanded immediate relocation to the main campus for safety. Addressing the aggrieved student on Tuesday, the Vice-Chancellor Professor Isaac Zeb Opibi announced the temporary shutdown of academic activities at the Emwaha campus and directed all students residing there to vacate the area until further notice. Confirming the rescue on Thursday, the spokesperson for the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Iringi Koko, said all 5 abducted students were rescued unhurt during an operation carried out at Rumodogo by police tactical teams in collaboration with other security agencies. She said the victims, including 1 female, have been taken to the hospital for medical examination, adding that efforts are underway to apprehend the fleeing kidnappers. Now, armed bandits on Wednesday evening launched a coordinated attack at Ga Fulani, a settlement in Iyemero, Ikole local government area of Ekiti State, carting away valuables and abducting several residents. The attackers, who struck between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., reportedly invaded homes and forcefully collected mobile phones, ATM cards, cash, clothing, shoes, bags, jewelry, and wristwatches. Their escape, however, was thwarted by members of the Iyemero Community Security Network, who quickly alerted troops stationed nearby. The soldiers immediately mobilized to the area, confronting the bandits in a fierce gun duel that lasted several minutes. The sustained resistance from the Joint Security Team forced the attackers to abandon their captives and flee into the forest. The community, which shares border with Eruku in Kwara State and Egbe in Yagba West, Kogi State, has long been vulnerable due to the extensive forest corridors often exploited by criminal groups. Security operatives have since intensified patrols around the area to prevent further attacks. The faction of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, loyal to Nyesom Wike, has declared that Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad, Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde, former acting national chairman Umar Damagun, and several others are no longer members of the party. In a statement issued by the PDP National Secretary Samuel Anyanwu, the public was warned against engaging the individuals involved in organizing the national convention held in Ibadan, Oyo State. The statement stressed that those behind the convention had been expelled and therefore lacked the authority to parade themselves as members of the PDP. The list of those expelled includes Bala Muhammad, Dauda Lawal, Sheyi Makinde, Emmanuel Udom, Adolfo Zwabara, Taufik Arapaja, Kabir Tanimu Turaki, Ben Obi, Bode George, and Okechukwu Obiechina. Others named are Emmanuel Ogiad, Emmanuel Ebiden, Sumaila Adamu Bunza, Koshodo Sed Tonji, Suleiman Kadedi Muhammad, Daniel Woye Gikuro, Umar Ilya, Damagum, and Umar Sani. Described the Ibadan Convention as a charade, the Wike faction accused its organizers of disregarding existing court orders. Now, some residents of Lagos State have welcomed a proposed constitutional amendment before the National Assembly seeking to create special seats for women in political offices across Nigeria. Speaking to Trust TV, they described the bill as a major step towards gender-inclusive governance, saying women should also be given the opportunity to occupy the positions such as state governors and even the presidency. Victoria Tokolo has more.
Women's representation in Nigeria's political leadership remains among the lowest in Africa. In response, a special seats bill currently before the National and State Assemblies seek to reshape the country's political landscape by ensuring more women get access to elective positions. The bill aims to increase women's participation by creating additional slots reserved for female candidates while still allowing them to contest in the general elections alongside their male counterparts. Although efforts to speak with female politicians in Lagos yielded no results, several residents told Trust Television that the initiative is a welcome development. They insist that Nigerian women deserve a fair chance to aspire to the highest political offices, including governorship and the presidency.
I think that is a good development. That's a good development. It is a good, and I think that is what is going to happen. Because I know by women coming in, it will be a helping hand. Because looking at women, they are also contributing to the society. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of this part of life, which is what we want them to do and which they want them to do. You understand? That's what I believe in. Look at African culture, right from times immemorial. Women has always been at the back end where they they feel they don't have what it takes, for them to be at the forefront of to be at the forefront of things that is going on economic-wise and otherwise. But for that bill to be passed, I think it will help women, to actually showcase what they inherit, what they have. And like I said, it comes with equality, and it makes us to also know that we have women, that can take the front line and also lead, the economy or the country.
It's a good opinion. It gives women, it elaborates them to speak out their mind and to have that boldness to say what is going on.
I don't know what has taken them, why it has taken them so long to do this, but I think it's a very good development. It's a step in the right direction. Sometimes men think that they have monopoly of knowledge, monopoly of everything. But today you see that women even excel in different places, in different aspects of life. So there is no monopoly of knowledge. It's just like a marginalization of the women folk. But if as giving them chance, sometimes they have more knowledge on what should be done to correct this of the society.
The reason I ask over there is that the Western world and other parts of the world, people participated in it. For example, places even a country like Brazil, women need them as a president. In Margaret Thatcher in England, also a president. Nigeria still depends on their own and ethnic things that maybe tribalistic because they know that they will not do it. and they can never do it. And they can never work well in Nigeria. Because if they should give a woman a chance, certain things will be exposed, and people must know that talented woman, Tora Kuyi, is not from Nigeria, didn't qualify to be one of past and parcel of the things they are doing in the world. One like Okoji one. I don't know if female are qualified to do something in the world, but because of tribalistic things we have in Nigeria, from Nigeria, they do not allow women. But me, I suggest let them give Nigerian women a chance.
Many Nigerians believe that with more women in positions of power, the country could witness stronger accountability, improved economic conditions, and enhanced security outcomes. As the constitutional amendments process continues, the fate of the special seats bill remains uncertain, but expectations remain high for a more inclusive political future.
This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Nigerians divided over cowhide meat and health risks and economic concerns. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Tinubu sends new ambassador list to Senate, Ibas and Dembazo among nominees. And Wiki's group expels Damagum, Bala Mohammed and others from PDP. Now moving on to more stories. Cowhide meat known as ponmo is a staple food for millions of Nigerians. But health experts say the way it's processed exposes consumers to serious risks. There are growing concerns over hygiene violations in abattoirs, meat markets, and the local processing site to which much of this ponmo is produced. Beyond the health issues, the federal government warns the rising ponmo consumption threatens Nigeria's $5 billion leather industry. Trust TV Ismail Ibrahim has more.
Black smoke rises over Garki Market in Abuja. This is where much of the ponmo sold in the city is processed. Medical professionals say the way ponmo is handled and the volume consumed have links to several health problems. Stakeholders in abattoirs and meat markets also point to a routine breaches in hygiene and handling protocols.
Regulatory authorities come here to enforce hygiene protocols. There is cowhide meat being supplied from an unknown location. It is sold here. It looks like poison. A lot of our customers complain about the unhygienic cowhide. A lady told me that they could not consume it after they bought it because it stinks. Authorities need to stop the supply of these cowhides.
Butchers say they are often blamed for poor hygiene, but insist the real problem is the lack of functional facilities and proper infrastructure. At Garki Market, some consumers now inspect the stalls closely, calling for cleaner spaces and safer meat handling practices.
It's 80% the cleaning aspects. They are trying, but they need to put more effort. It's not as clean as it should be, though it's a market. Yeah, but they still need to put more effort so that it will be more cleaner. And then the prices.
As the federal government continues to discourage ponmo consumption to protect the leather industry, butchers say sales of fresh meat have dropped. Many buyers now choose ponmo because it is cheaper.
So whether it is well processed or not, I don't know. But all I know is that Nigerians, because of the hard economy, they go for whatever they see. Do you get my point?
It's just to get the skin on and roast it, then bring it to the market. They will boil it and sell it. So this one is just normal roasting. It's not, the people cannot consume it this way. It's just they roast the skin out of it. So it still goes through more process before it can be eaten.
Behind the economic concerns are the health risks. Experts warn that excessive consumption of pomo and other poorly handled meat products can expose consumers to infections and long-term illnesses.
Are there disease conditions associated with it? I would say yes, in a way, because when you put things over open flame, you burn things over open flame, one of the things you're introducing into that food is a carcinogenic substances, which is more like cancerous substances. So that's one of the issues you have in it. Well, when I now say hypertension, a lot of people consume it, and you know, the whole cooking and everything, sodium content and everything, and as well as even things like kilishi, the content in it, the sodium content is now the problem. And when I also say kidney and liver conditions can also come up, it also means that the process itself is the problem. So these are the kind of conditions that might be associated with eating pomo.
Nigeria needs more modern standard abattoirs to meet demand for safe meat and to meet public health and environmental requirements. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the ongoing invasion of roaming elephants in Gala and Kale-Balege local government areas of Borno State has become increasingly alarming, with farmlands destroyed and residents living in fear. The elephants, believed to have migrated from the Waza National Park in Cameroon, have for years caused extensive damage in the region, threatening food security and the livelihoods of local farmers. Lawmakers have raised concern over the deteriorating situation. The House of Representatives has adopted a motion calling for urgent action to curb the elephant attacks. Similarly, the federal government has been urged to work closely with the Borno State government to provide logistical support and implement measures to address the threat. Stakeholders stress that swift intervention is crucial, not only to protect human lives and property, but also to ensure the safety and proper management of the elephants.
كبار التنين ترى لك الوايد الوراني خلاص وبل قدامي خلاص القاية كلنا ثلاثة أبغى سيزما أبغى كلنا كواعا سنة.
And now in business, United Capital PLC analysts have forecast that Nigeria's headline inflation rate will experience a further decline to 15.48% in November 2025. This projection represents a decrease from 16.05% rate recorded in October 2025. The analyst said the anticipated moderation is largely driven by a slight reduction in the prices of selected food items and premium motor spirit PMS. In an inflation watch release on Wednesday, they said the easing of inflationary measures was evident in the energy sector during November 2025. The average price of Bonny light crude oil saw a marginal decline of 1.41%, dropping to $65.22 per barrel from $66.15 per barrel in October 2025. In the food sector, price movements were mixed in November 2025 when compared to October 2025. UCR's survey of selected food items revealed price declines for certain commodities as the prices of local rice, maize, and gari fell by 27.6%, 21.72%, and 0.38% respectively. However, the price of imported rice did rise by 2.4%. Meanwhile, the prices of sorghum, beans, and yam remained broadly stable within the same range. And now, away from Nigeria, Libyan authorities have announced a major escalation in deporting irregular migrants, primarily from sub-Saharan Africa, back to their home countries. The move comes amid increased efforts by European nations to curb migrant arrivals, with Libya remaining a key departure point for thousands attempting dangerous sea crossings to Europe, particularly the nearby Italy, just 300 kilometers away. At a press conference in Tripoli, Interior Minister Imad Trabelsi highlighted that Libya has received limited international support in managing migration despite substantial domestic efforts. He noted that as many as 3 million irregular migrants have passed through Libya over the last 15 years, often with their families, raising concerns about long-term settlement. Trabelsi emphasized that Libya will not serve as a holding ground for migrants intercepted at sea. As part of preparation program, the government aims to return thousands of migrants, including women, children, and the elderly, with 2 flights per week scheduled this month. Meanwhile, Libya continues to host hundreds of thousands of Sudanese refugees fleeing conflict, granting them access to health care and education as ordered by the government. And now in sports, Team Nigeria emerged as the overall champion at the first ever West Africa Para Games, held in Abeokuta, Ogun State, following 6 days of outstanding competition. The games brought together over 400 para-athletes from across the sub-region, marking a landmark moment for para-sport in West Africa. Nigeria topped the medal table with an impressive 59 gold, 39 silver, and 31 bronze medals. Benin Republic finished second with 4 gold, 4 silver, and 14 bronze, while Ghana placed third with 3 gold, 15 silver, and 21 bronze medals. Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire completed the top 5, securing 4th and 5th positions respectively. Cameroon with 1 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze, and Cote d'Ivoire with 1 gold. The final gold medal of the games was clinched by Nigeria's amputee football team, who defeated Liberia 1-0 during Wednesday's closing match. Chairman of the National Sports Commission, NSC, Shehu Dikko, lauded the athletes, describing their performances as a historic milestone for a para-sport in the sub-region. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I am Idris Dayebatura, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.